Is life harder for Topuria at featherweight or lightweight? Let's pretend the weight cut isn't an issue. Let's pretend Topuria can make both weight classes just fine. If you're Topuria's manager, what weight class are you telling him to go to remain champ longer? Lightweight or featherweight? I'm telling him to go to lightweight. You have way better odds at beating the lightweights, alright? All the lightweight legends are on their way out. Gaethje, Oliveira, Poirier. Movsar and Jean Silva have better chances of beating Ilia Topuria than anybody in the lightweight division. The only one you could argue that has a real chance is Armin. Just look at the names at featherweight versus lightweight. Featherweight is way more stacked now. Movsar, Silva, Volk, Lopez, Murphy versus Armin, Dustin, Paddy, Gamrot, Gaethje. It's true. Featherweight is officially more stacked than lightweight. They got way more contenders. They got less older fighters. They got more up-and-comers. But I do got to give a shout-out to a very dangerous threat to Topuria in the lightweight division, but he's not in the rankings yet. That's Mauricio Rufy. Now, I didn't include him because he's not on Topuria's radar. When Topuria moved up to the lightweight division, he wasn't thinking about, oh yeah, Rufy's going to be coming up soon. I'm going to be fighting Mauricio Rufy next. No, he's not even in the top 15. So he's not even on Topuria's radar. He's not even in Topuria's world. There is no chance of that fight happening anytime soon. And odds are Topuria is going to be done by the time Mauricio Huffy or Rufy makes it up to get a title fight. But pull up the rankings and look for yourself. It's amazing. Lightweight was my favorite division. It used to be the most stacked division, especially in the 2015 through 2018 era. But lately, it's been featherweight. And I think a lot of it's got to do with all the lightweights are on the brink of retiring. Charles, Gaethje, Holloway, Poirier. How much longer can Dan Hooker go on for? Beneil Dariush. They're all done. The only fresh contenders are Armin, Paddy, and Mauricio Rufy, who's not even on Ilia Topuria's radar yet. Look at the fresh stacked contenders. Look at the stacked division of featherweight. Evloev, Lopez, Lerone Murphy, Jean Silva. Man, featherweight just seems so much more new and improved. Ilia would have a tough time over there. He would have his hands full if he didn't vacate. But at lightweight, I can't help but notice it looks like smooth sailing for Ilia. Seriously. Sell out a stadium in Spain and fight Paddy? Do we really think Paddy has a chance of finishing Ilia? At worst, he can win by decision. Armin? Do we really think he can finish Ilia Topuria? I could see him winning a decision. But Topuria's got to worry about two guys maybe winning a decision at lightweight. At featherweight, he's got to be worried about 100% finish rate, Jean Silva. The puzzle that hasn't been solved of Lerone Murphy. Movsar Evloev is undefeated. You might think Armin's kind of like a bigger version of Evloev. Two grapplers. Armin would be tougher for Topuria. Well, guess what? Movsar Evloev's probably more confident than Armin. Movsar's undefeated. Armin's not. And not only is featherweight more dangerous, but it's also more interesting now that I think about it. I would much rather see Ilia Topuria fight Movsar and Jean Silva rather than Armin and Paddy Pimblett. Who's with me? Ilia Topuria versus Jean Silva. Imagine the amount of violence we would get. Imagine the highlight reel. That would be on ESPN Top 10 all day. Someone's getting knocked the fuck out in that fight. Movsar Evloev and Ilia Topuria, two guys that are undefeated. Imagine the confidence in that fight. Both guys would be 100% confident. Two undefeated fighters in a title fight. When do we get that? We rarely get that. But Topuria versus Armin, fun fight, but Armin's not undefeated. He can't be as confident as Evloev. And then Topuria versus Paddy. Paddy doesn't have a 100% finish rate. He beat Michael Chandler. He finished him. Went the distance with the older Tony Ferguson. Now that I think about it, I wish Topuria stayed at featherweight. The only reason I cared for Topuria moving up to 155 was to see Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. Now that I know that the UFC is hindering that from happening, they're the reason it won't go down. They're the reason it can't happen. They don't want any of their cash cows to lose. I know it's annoying, right? It pisses me off. I hate the matchmakers. But if that's the case, if I'm not going to get Topuria versus Makhachev, I would much rather have Topuria down at featherweight. So now, honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this. Ilia Topuria at 155 is not even interesting to me. It's not. The fact that we have to beg just for the Armin fight, it's probably not even going to happen. It's probably going to be Ilia versus Gaethje. Gaethje's third title fight. Ilia versus Gaethje is what we're doing here. We could be getting Ilia versus Movsar, then Ilia versus Jean Silva at featherweight instead. But now we're going to get Volk versus Yair Rodriguez at featherweight. Oh my God. Man, come on, Ilia. Drop back down to featherweight. And I know we said 100 times, if the weight cut's too tough, it's killing my body. But is it really? Is it? Aren't all weight cuts hard? Is Ilia Topuria really that big? I think Armin's the size of a lightweight. I think Paddy's the real size of a lightweight. Ilia Topuria, he actually is smaller than Jean Silva. And he's not a bigger dude than Volkanovski. Those guys can make weight and they're way older. Well, Volkanovski's way older than Topuria. I don't believe that's the true reason. I believe the weight cut sucks. I believe it's hell. But if Volk can do it, I know Ilia can do it. Now this is going to sound crazy, but just bear with me, guys. I think Ilia Topuria moved up to lightweight because he knew he would get more praise for taking the easier route. And the weight cut was the perfect excuse as a reason to leave the dangerous division with the undefeated Movsar, with the 100% finish rate Jean Silva, with the fight IQ fighter of Lerone Murphy. The weight cut was the perfect excuse to leave. Genius move. It's working out for him. But selfishly, as a fan, I want Topuria to have the hardest matchups possible. And I know we're not going to get the toughest matchups possible with Ilia Topuria as lightweight champ. So yeah, congrats to Ilia. He's pound for pound number 1. He's the talk of the town. He's the new Conor McGregor 2.0. He's getting all the praise in the world for moving up to lightweight, the easier weight division. He left featherweight, the more difficult weight division, but he's getting more praise for it. And what better excuse than the weight cut? Who could honestly put Ilia Topuria in check and be like, nah, man, you could still do it? No one. Who's to tell him he can make the weight? He knows himself the best. There's no way we can prove if he can make the weight or not. But I'm not taking his word because I'm looking at the roster and I see tons of dangerous featherweights and I see less skilled lightweights. But I see Ilia Topuria getting more praise for it. Let me know what you guys think down below. To me, it's no question. Featherweight's more stacked than lightweight. We would get way better fights, way bigger fights for Topuria. I would rather see Topuria versus Jean Silva. I would rather see Topuria versus Movsar Evloev than Armin and Paddy. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.